Welcome to our meeting. I'm Susie Balser. This is Jen Jenkins. We are your dance team, and we represent both locations. I know that that's different for pop and MDT. They're very separate for Draper and AF, but for dance, we like to bring everybody together. Okay. Welcome this morning and good morning. We hope you guys are surviving a very busy last week of content classes. And anybody who's new and has never done classes or been at COPA, welcome. We hope you enjoy the information you're about here. So last year we were like, you know what, this is a lot of really great information, but I think it's too much. So we're going to try and be really, really dumbed down today and make this really clear and concise and get you in and out so you can enjoy your Saturday and your weekend. So talk really briefly about, sorry, my printer, you guys did not want to print. So I'm on my phone looking at my notes. So at COPA, we have 7 dance companies, and then we have some classes that kiddos can take that are just like once a week. And today we're going to talk about just our companies and what their curriculum is, what's offered for them. And you can make a decision if that is something that works for you. Let's see. This year we have 2 new company directors. Our pre-company, which is like 4 to 7-year-olds, has been Carly Wheatley. Well, I can't remember her married name. Hi, come on in. I just totally blanked on her married name.
Carly.
Anyway, Carly Wheatley.
I don't remember her name
She is leaving us, unfortunately, because her husband got an internship in December in like Europe. So she's got to go to Europe, you guys, for like 5 months. And so she will come back to us, but she's going to have to take a year off for that. And taking her place will be Mariah Plitt, who has been with COPA and has taught our littles dance classes, but has also taught on the MDT side. So we're excited to have her as our new pre-company director. And then McCall, I almost called McCall Jenkins, no, McCall Brainerd, who has been our petite company director this year, is moving to New York and moving on to bigger and better things, which she needs to do as the young woman that she is. So anyway, her replacement, we are so excited to announce is Cassidy Walstead. And she is a great dancer that came across my desk from, by the way, of Lindsay Folkman, which is another one of our directors who's awesome. And she's trained with Lindsay and worked with Lindsay a lot. So when I was looking for a new director, Lindsay was like, you should look at Cassidy. And I was like, okay. And so I stalked Cassidy. It's basically what was happening. And had found just the most lovely of things. So, and then I, when chatting with her and talking with her about her goals and what she wants to do, it just seemed like the best fit. And so we are so excited to have Cassidy come and take those petite kiddos. So I'm really excited about our team this year. It's going to be a really strong team of directors. I want you as parents to know when I look for directors, and that's not just for Mariah or for Cassidy, it's for people who have been here for a long time. Jen, Tyne, Amy, any of those people. It is really important to me as an owner that I find people that not only are educated and will be able to train your children really well, because that's obviously why you're here, but that's not the only reason you want your children here, or that's not the only thing you're hoping your children gain from this experience. They want to have, obviously, friendships from their peers, but they want to have a good mentor and guidance from these adults in the classroom. And so the other things that I look for are somebody who is a kind person, somebody who is loving but firm, someone, and almost most importantly, someone who is willing to say, I can do better and help me, and willing to learn and willing to listen to how they can improve. Because let's be honest, we all need to be able to improve in our lives. We're not perfect. I have not been a perfect owner or a teacher or a director or choreographer. Jen hasn't, like, we're just human beings. So when I find people like that, I get excited and I go, I want to work with you any day, because if you're willing to say, you know what, that was not how I wanted that to go, what can I do better? How can I make that better? I want that person. So those are some things that I look for in directors. And I feel like the women all the way down our lineup of directors are those types of women. And I feel really blessed and lucky. And so bringing on somebody like Cassidy in those conversations, I think that she's on the same wavelength that we are, same as well as Mariah. So that's something that matters to me in the classroom. Okay, let's go really quickly. I'm just going to say this super fast. COPA is not your normal dance studio. If you're new here, I'm trying, let's see, some of those people on there. Oh, they keep coming. COPA is, it's really different and it's unique in the best way. Well, we think it's the best way. So we are a performing arts studio. We don't just do dance, we do music, we do acting, we do musical theater, and there's versions of musical theater, whether you want to dance more in musical theater or sing and act more. And we believe that kids can kind of do all those things if they'd like to. And so our dance only program, it is not like the other 1,000, I can throw a rock and hit like probably 3 or 4 different studios from here. It is not, it does not have thousands of kids in it. It is kind of a boutique. It's smaller. And we kind of like it that way, actually. So we can give them more opportunities. And our kids, because we are performing arts and we like to tell stories. We like to tell stories through music. We like to tell stories through the kids that do songwriting. We like to tell stories through their acting, and we like to tell stories through dance. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. So that's kind of who COPA is. Now, for sure, we're going to teach your kids how to point their toes and dance really well. But that is something that we feel like is unique about COPA. And this last year, we've gone through some reevaluations of our program and our systems. And so many of you probably saw that there were some changes that we've made to our dance program, actually all of our programs, because of this reevaluation that we did. And this reevaluation, it started about August of last year. And it's been a long process of what do we value and what do we want out of our business for our parents and students and for ourselves, because we also are parents here. So here are some of the changes. These changes came because we see some overload from students. And I know a lot of students like to do a lot of things, which is great. We love you doing as many things as you feel you can handle time-wise and financially. But we do see some overload in just dance in general. And I'll just speak just for dance. But like I said, this was kind of an all COPA thing. And then we see some overload. The economy is an interesting place right now, and prices are what they are. And we see where we have to raise prices in places because our prices are being raised. Like costumes, for instance, we looked at that and reevaluated that. And we were like, well, that's not going to cover the price of that costume, let alone any alteration, so things like that are just happening. And we're looking at that. So we also realize that we don't want to burn out you families if they're wanting to do lots of things that we want to try to make this something that families can still do. So we looked at where we can. More doesn't always mean more, better doesn't always mean doing more. So, and Nathan's also, my husband is also an owner and was a professional dancer, now is a teacher, for those of you who don't know, and is in China, as we all know now, right now with some students. He's been telling me, he's like, how do you make it more simple? How do you make it more simple? And that's not my nature. I'll be honest. That's not, I just want to do more. But with this reevaluation, it's been a good exercise for me to pare back, but better does not have to mean more. So we are making some changes because of those reasons, because we want to make things sustainable for families and parents. We want things to be manageable for students and their lives and their schooling and possibly the other things that they'd like to participate, whether those other things are under our own roof or in the community, or they just want to be, as I hear a lot of parents say, I just want my kid to be a kid, if they want to have those times too. So here are some of the changes, and it's not massive, friends, but it is giving you options so that there can be some of that flexibility for you, or maybe a little bit of reprieve with hours and money. Okay. So in the past, we've required that our companies do our shows, which Jen is going to talk about, and compete in 2 competitions. So moving forward, companies will no longer be required to do competitions. I'll talk about this in a second, but that will be something that's an optional event. So companies will just come for their weekly curriculum, and then they will participate in their 2 shows. This also means that they will not do the Nexus convention that we did in the fall. That will also be optional for dancers who want that. Okay. Let me just talk about how those competitions are optional right now, since I'm on that. We've always offered, or we've always highly suggested solos, duos, and trios. That is something that parents do on their own, that and we will give you a list of names of choreographers who are interested in participating in that. And then you can reach out to those choreographers, and then that transaction is something you do. Personally, COPA is not really involved in any of that. We don't get any cut financially from that. We're just giving you the opportunity. We love it. I think it's a great way for kids to grow. So I will say this, just because we're taking it off the company required curriculum, it doesn't mean that it's not valued. We absolutely value it. I think it is it's another avenue and a mindset that is really good for students to push themselves and to grow, especially as a solo, duo, or a trio. And so I highly suggest that you consider that, but it is extra time and a financial commitment in addition to your company commitments. So competition classes will be similar to what we've done this year, which they will come and audition to be in that class. That will happen the first week or 2 weeks, depending on how far along, if we need 2 weeks to audition. That'll happen the first 1 to 2 weeks of the school year, which is, I think it's like the 3rd week of August. Friends, I don't have that off the top of my head, sorry. We do, because a lot of our dance classes are here in American Fork. Some are still in Draper, but the majority of them are here in American Fork. We open on the weekend, or we open the week after Alpine School District opens. So those classes will be held on Monday nights and Fridays. So this is going to I'll lead into what's happening to Fridays in a second. But those, again, will be audition based, and then they will be their own little thing. There will be an advanced, intermediate, and beginning levels. And we will do a hip hop, a jazz, more of like right now the plan is to do like a jazz, maybe a character jazz piece, and then either a lyrical or contemporary. So there'll be for each, tap. We did do a competition tap number this year and hip hop. But we are now putting tap. This is leading me into the next thing too. Tap is back in everyone's curriculum. It was taken out. It was an option for our oldest kiddos this year we just finished, and it is now back in their curriculum on a weekly basis, and they will just perform tap with their class in spring. So again, those competition opportunities will be on Monday and Friday, mostly on Friday, but Mondays and Friday, and that will be either contemporary lyrical, more of a traditional jazz, or character. We're still trying to decide those genres, and then a hip hop. The reason why we choose those genres is because kids to have fun and be like, oh, I want to be in that number. But it's also, for us, it's also very much about a growth experience, because I don't really care as a studio owner about being the best, getting that overall award, like you're the studio that won the most awards. Great. I want my students to come and feel like they've pushed themselves, like they've grown, like they bonded and had a fun time. This last competition we just did, we're all like, that was a week ago. There's been a lot of life lived in the last week. It was so exciting to see how well those companies did and how exciting. And in some ways we were like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect that. It was really exciting. And I think that that's really fun for them to get that feedback from somebody else, besides dance mom, like we're the dance moms, you guys are the real moms and dads. Anyway, so it's exciting. And it was a really fun thing. So that is our goal with competitions, is to push them technically. Yes, please.
So, if the 3 competitions, would they be on all of them, or you'll just pick them and put them on just one of them?
Well, I mean,
Or
whatever
make
you
the choice to
audition. Yeah. So
for
that
which one?
I don't know if you guys heard that question. It was, if are you on all 3, like the contemporary, lyrical, the jazz and the hip hop? No, you can be like, I just want to do the hip hop. So you come to the hip hop. Yeah. You're not required to do all 3. You can pick and choose.
If you want to do all 3, you can.
If they want to do all 3, the schedule will line up. So this leads me into the curriculum changes. Hours have gone down for everyone. And it's ranged. You'll have to look on the website. I'm sorry, I couldn't print to you guys this morning. My phone is not playing nice. How long ago? So I couldn't print the schedule so that you'd like to look, like hold it up or have you guys here look at it. But if you want to go to, the website, you can look at the actual schedule of what their weekly class curriculum looks like and what, itemized what it is. But everyone's hours have gone down. It ranges. It depends on the company. Some have gone down a half an hour. Some have gone down like an hour and a half. And that is due to, obviously we want a progression of hours and skills, and also like what room is available for us to dance in this building and in Draper. This also leads me, just a side note, this last year, COPA has taken over the entire building. Next year, we will go back to being just in our north half of the building. Draper will stay the same. So that is another reason why the MDT classes that were over on that south side are now moving back over here. But it's a win-win. We're making it happen, and I think it's going to be great. And go ahead and take a look at those classes in more detail. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let me explain this really quickly. So I just talked about the curriculum and hours have changed. There's no Fridays. So if you don't want to be on a competition team, then you have Fridays off, which I know there'll be a lot of parents and students are like, hallelujah. It's been a fight for Fridays, and we've seen the decline. And so we're like, you know what, this is not working. So anyway, but those kids who want to do it will be here Friday.
Those, somewhat the hours be a little bit like earlier afternoon, so it's not like Friday night.
It will be the same. It will be like 4 to 6, because a lot of our younger kids don't get out of school until that certain time. We might consider doing the 3:30 to 6 again. But it depends on who's on those teams. Like if I have a kiddo that's in Provo and doesn't get out of school, but she's in an advanced class, but can't get here. Do you know what I mean? So it might, I just right now on the schedule, I haven't put anything, but I haven't shown you, but in my schedule, it says 4 to 6. So I haven't done the 3:30. So it's just like 4 to 5 is 3 different levels of classes, and 5 to 6 are 3 other classes. Beginning, intermediate, and advanced. Whatever. Does that make sense? Okay. Do we have any questions up to that point on Zoom?
I have a question. Hi,
Oh,
Ty.
wait, somebody. Hold on. Say that one more time.
It's me, Tyne. Hi, but I look like Cam. Hi.
Hi. You look time. You've changed.
I grew some facial hair. Oh, Tessa says hi too.
Hi.
Those each competition team will have its own contract, correct? With absences that are allotted, and just like companies, right?
Yeah, it will kind of be, it's like its own little mini company experience, because we need to keep the integrity of that class, right? If a kiddo comes and signs up for it and pays, those extra fees and everything, but then isn't showing up. And then that's really difficult for the choreographer and to keep it clean and precise, ready to go. There are going to be times with those Friday classes, and obviously I'll go over this with those parents and students that join, that we can't hold class because we have to use a Friday for, production rehearsal or something along those lines, or we're gone for Christmas and then we come back and we have an intensive right before the production. Anyway, there's gonna be times where we don't hold those classes. And it's gonna be imperative that the buildup to competition will be that it's crucial. The attendance is crucial. Yes, we will do 2 competitions with those, I don't know what you want to call them. We've called them competition classes this year. But we'll do 2. We'll take them to 2 local places so we're not, having to travel and get a hotel and all of those things. I think the ones that we've found locally have been awesome and fun and just the right amount of intense, like as far as like what we as parents are trying to give and what the kids are experiencing. So yeah. Thanks, Tyne. That was a good little add-in. Feel free to add in. But anybody else have any other questions before I move on? Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, so we talked about curriculum and the hours. Okay, so just as you look at the schedule, I know this is for moms that have been with us for a while. You're gonna see your kids' classes, they're not labeled like tap or ballet 1, 2 or ballet 3. Like it is now all to the letter system. So this is another way of us kind of reconfiguring our dance classes. So under the COPA roof, obviously dance kids have dance classes required, but so do the music dance theater kids. They have dance technique classes required. And in the past, we had totally separated those kids, and that worked great. And in some cases, some of those kids are still separated, like our brand new, never danced before, 12 to 13-year-olds, like they may be in their own class. Does that make sense? But we're trying to just be like, this is a dance class. It's a dance class. It's a dance class. You're from MDT, great. Come in this, you fit in this level. You're from dance, great. You fit in this level. So we're just gonna divide them by levels. We've added levels so that we can divide, we can accommodate the amount of bodies, but we can also divide the level so that it is appropriate. And we don't have 2 15-year-olds in a class. One's danced, 7 years and one's, only been in the classroom for the last year. Does that make sense? So that's why everything's just kind of now going to level or the letters. Right now, like our seniors in CDC, they're kind of their own level, just because most of those MDT kids, those music dance theater kids, don't dance enough that they're keeping up to that level. So in some cases, dance has their own level too, right? So, and those top kids do have their own level, but that's how that will be. That doesn't mean that every single one of your dance company kids will have MDT kids in their classes, because MDT kids aren't required to take as many dance technique classes as obviously as dance company kids are, right? So you'll only see those kids in maybe 1 day a week. Yeah, unless they want more, which would be awesome. So that's what the letters are. So don't let that the letter system, don't let that confuse you. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that mean that the Draper kids have a choice between AF and Draper for those?
Thank you. That's a
classes?
really good question. So Draper will be the same in that they also will have the letter system. And if you are a Draper dance company member, it will mean that there will be some options for you to take Mondays in Draper that will replace like another day in AF if you don't want to travel. Yeah. And we just need to, we'll just let you know, what letter of class is a good fit for you. Yeah, we did. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure I'm getting all the things, friends. Okay. I think those are the big changes. I hope I didn't scare you. I was trying not to. But I think that's the biggest thing, like competitions are just now a little bit different. Hours have gone down. How the technique classes are integrated. That might be it. Do you want to talk about offerings and like what
Yeah.
what's required for companies?
Yeah, so if you audition for a company, then you will be required to take summer technique classes. So your first week of summer classes will be June 17th through the 21st, and those will be your jazz, tap, hip hop classes.
Yep.
And then the second week of summer technique classes will be July 8th through the 12th, and that
Mhm.
will just be the ballet boot camp. So you'll just do ballet the entire time for that week. So if
Oh,
you
I
miss.
just forgot one thing.
What?
You said the word ballet. I have to go back. You guys, I'm so sorry. Pause, Jen. She said ballet and it was like, trigger. Okay, so, in looking at our, as we took hours down, and trying to maximize maximize your students' time in our studio and what we're trying to do with them, we have decided that point work, doing ballet point, is not our most effective use of time. The kids are great, like they're doing fine. I know a lot of them are like working so hard to get on point. But because we do so many other things in our curriculum, the tap, the jazz, the contemporary, that point work is not getting what it really needs. And I would rather spend their ballet time in technique, because a point technique class and a regular technique class are a little bit different. Like the time spent in point is a little bit different. So because of that, we felt like it would maximize our time and our efforts to what we really need them to do is we just want we just want that basic technique. We don't need to add that. No more point. Yeah, we are taking out point. I'm sorry, that is going to make some so sad. And it's not that we don't love it or value it. It's that is a focus that we would rather not take the time to do at this point. If your dancer loves point work, they really should go to a ballet studio. That's what they do. Where it's
Yeah.
very specific. There's a lot of time. I mean, think of all the hours your dancer dances. And if they go to a ballet studio, they're doing ballet all those hours, plus their point work, that's supporting the point work and that basic ballet technique
Yeah.
on top of it. And so that's what I'm just like, I think that's a better choice, that we just want the technique from ballet. And the point work is something that we've tried to make work on top of it. And with time, I just think that's not the best fit for us. So anyway, yes, we're going back to camps.
Yep.
Your first week is ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop. It kind of changes a little bit every day. The second week is just ballet, no point, and go Jen.
Well, and if those times don't work, we do have another option to go to a different camp, don't we?
We have,
There-
it will be
'cause
like,
some people have like trip schedules.
so this
things
is,
like that.
this is changing too a little bit this year, because in the past, parents have been able to like pick and choose between like an MD music dance theater technique camp week. There's only like one. And I will warn you, if you choose to go to that MDT week because you have a conflict, you can. You just need to let us know. It is not going to be as technically based and pushed as the dance
ones.
weeks.
Mhm.
So it will be much more flowery and fun. But there will be some technique, but it just will not, that's not their focus for that. So you can do that. Just know that that's what you will get, which is so fun and so awesome. But you'll just have to make sure that your dancer's technique is maintained over summer, because that's part of your contract, is that we don't see a decline there.
Yeah. And then we will have our mandatory company camp on July 30th to August 3rd, and that's a Tuesday to a Saturday. So you'll probably want to write that down. And then throughout the year, they'll have the 2 concerts. They'll do the big production in January, which is like the fun storytelling shows. We did Peter Pan last year. Don't know what we're doing this time. It's a surprise. But it will be fun. And then we'll do our recital in spring, and it will just be another themed concert. Haven't decided that yet either, but it will be fun.
And then Tyne, are
yeah,
you on
Tyne.
here? Do you want to talk about tour?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so this is for our oldest company, CDC, and they will have a tour experience, and I'll let you talk about that.
Okay. Hi, guys. Hi. Hope everybody's recovering from concerts, or if you're new, we're super excited. So I'm Tyne. I direct CDC and the production, the big storytelling show in January. So for CDC, the oldest company, we go on tour every year, and we're a little bit different from MDT, where we do kind of smaller tours because our production is a lot of work, and your dancers are with us a lot of hours. However, I know that's going to be simplified and hopefully fit in your schedules a little bit better this year with that decrease in a couple of hours. But sorry, there's a little one. Just a minute. So for tour, we are going to do a local. Just a minute, Tessa. A local choreography. Sorry, guys. We don't have school today. Today's Saturday. So we have a local tour this year. So last year we went to California. It was so fun. But this year what we're doing is we really value learning from masters of the craft. We're going to do kind of a local Salt Lake City tour where we're going to work with some professionals in the industry, and they are going to help choreograph our production. So we're going to do mini workshops here and there. And we did this a couple of years ago. So we're kind of toggling from a local tour, and then we travel the following year. So this is our local tour year, and it will be a weekend of choreography. It will be a weekend of bonding and taking class. And then we always do professional dance photo shoots. So our dancers leave tour with choreography. They learn like 5 numbers in the weekend for the production. It's awesome, of all different styles according to what role they are in our show. And we might know what the show is.
I know, like, we might know what this.
Well, surprise.
You have to come to company camp. We always reveal it the first day of company camp, and it's so exciting. I am so excited. I already sent Susie some songs, like, I can't wait for this dance. It's
Yeah,
gonna
she's
be
like, listen to this one. She texted me yesterday. Listen to this one. This is one moment. I'm like, nice.
yes.
We haven't been this early
No.
ever, but it was like this little gift from heaven, and we're like, that's it. That's it. And
felt, yes.
as we think about the students that we think will be here, and the story, I think it's going to be really fun. You're excited. Yeah.
We always try to choose a story that we feel like your students can tell and in their best form. So it's going to be really great. We feel like it's going to be a really great year. Anyway, so the students are going to leave camp with professional photos to add to their portfolio, which is so great when they are auditioning or if they ever need to send anything out. And they get a professional photo experience, and then we get to go to a professional performance up in Salt Lake, and we get to meet some really great people. So I know some students sometimes they're like, oh, it's just a local tour, but it is packed. And the greatest thing about being in Utah as a dancer is this is Dance Central. There are so many talented and incredible people. So those of you who are going to make CDC this year or are looking ahead and hoping to shoot for CDC, we always want our tours to be, whether it's here or away, they are jam-packed of really amazing dance experiences. So we're excited. It's gonna be great.
And that happens it's a weekend. It's November 8th, 9th, and 10th. So we do that in the fall because it's a little bit easier than, winter time, when MDT and Pop, they go on tours in winter, like around February or March. And that is a really hard time for dances, like just coming off of production and pushing for others, for recital or for competitions. And so we like to do the fall time. And then we also are trying not to have kids miss too much school. So it's a Friday, Saturday, they'll come home like Sunday afternoon or something like that. So, and because it is fast, we do jam pack it, like she said. So, okay, we're excited about this. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so I think we're pretty much through our year. Again, competitions and Nexus would be things that are optional. The other thing that's optional this summer is we're doing a music dance video. It's not required, but if your kiddo would like to come be in this music video as a singer or a dancer, it's just like an extra camp. It's not in your fees, it's not required. There's no audition. They can just show up and we will use whatever dancers' voices we get, and we will put together a music video, which is another fun experience for them to learn. And we just, time's going like this. We just had a meeting about it yesterday morning, and we have actually some really fun ideas of things that we're going to do. And Tyne is going to choreograph that this year. And our music director, for anybody who is interested in singing, is Tiffany Nutter, and she's brilliant. And
Bring me all the dancers. Come on, dancers, come do it. It's gonna be awesome.
so the dates for that summer,
Dance video.
thank you, music and dance video. It is the same week of our ballet boot camp, but it's just later in the afternoon. So it's still July 8th through the 12th, and it'll be after all the other ballet stuff in the morning. And then it'll be like, I think it's like 12:30 to 2 or something along those lines. And then they plan to film that Saturday, July 13th. Times TBA. We don't know the location. We have to still find the location. So those times are TBA, but we usually plan about 4 hours to film. Yeah. So it would be really fun. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Okay, so as a company director or as a company member, you are on a contract. So we do auditions, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. We do auditions. Next week we will cast. You'll accept your contract, and then you're in that contract from July of 24 through June of 25, and we just laid it out that way. So you have your monthly payments of tuition, and then you have your monthly payments of fees, and we separate those out. And on the website, you can see what the tuition is for your each company, and lower on that sheet on the website is the company fees, and those are both. We like to do it that way so that you can plan financially each month. So there's no like, this month we actually have like an extra $500 or something. We like to keep it so that you guys can plan ahead. The contract for competitions will be on they'll be similar to what we do for tour, which is we probably do it like the months leading up to tour, because we have to have that payment in by tour, right? We will just make sure that like the 6 months or something, however it is, that those payments are in by like February. And so it's
Is the prices already in, like, for tour or for the extra comps on the?
prices, extra comps nope, those aren't on the website yet. I'll make sure that we get those out to you guys so you can see. There's a little bit of time there because we won't, not till August is when we're auditioning, right? But I'll get that out for you guys to see that information soon. I'm close on those budgets. But I just want to make sure that all those T's are crossed and I's are dotted before I give you the information, because I don't like to change it after we send it out. And wait, what was your other question, Ange?
A tour.
Tour.
Is that price?
Tour is, I think we have Tyne,
included?
I think we have a not to exceed right now, because there were still some things that our tour manager, Brandley, was pricing out and making sure we can kind of, so usually at this point in the game, it's a not to exceed an amount, and then we just know we have to go under that. And I can't remember, Tyne, if you remember what that is, pipe in here, because I don't have that.
I'll look
Great.
it up real fast.
Okay, thank you. It's not off the top of my head. I think we're on to auditions, you guys. So auditions will happen next Thursday, the 16th, here in American Fork. You'll go into the black box to sign in and get your dancer a number, and it is just the door will be open. It's like one of our dance studios, but it's a performance space too. So it's kind of the middle of the building. Yeah, middle of the building. And then we will bring them into our big dance room in Studio One to actually learn the material and audition. And then they'll come back to parents in the black box. But while you're in there in the black box, dancers should be warming up and getting ready to go. And we don't call your dancers here for very long. So when they're in the room, we want to be ready to like fly with the material. They will learn a ballet combination in center. They will learn a jazz across the floor, and then they will learn a jazz-based combination. So they'll learn 3 things. And I've had some dancers ask me, what happens if I can't be there? What will happen is we will video those combinations. I haven't seen them yet. Like I don't know them. I can't give them to you any sooner. So that day we will video them and email them to those of you who have emailed and let us know that that's what you need. So if you do need a video and have to send in a video audition, then you need to email Jennifer at Utah COPA and let her know so that we can compile a list and then send that video out to you dancers. You'll learn it on your own and you'll be given like 24 hours to like turn around and put it back, give it back so that it seems fair. Okay, this is how, so I'm going to go through this really quickly, but, our 4 to 7-year-olds, you will come and check in at 3:30 and then they will dance really fast from 4 to 4:30. And then our 8 to 13-year-olds, they will check in from 4 to 4:30. And then they're warming up as well. And then they will dance from 4:30 to 6:30. We always hold over kiddos from this section, 8 to 13-year-olds, to the next section. So be prepared, parents, that sometimes those 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, they get held over to the next section of older kids. So the next section is the 13 to 17-year-olds. They check in from 6 to 6:30, and then they dance from 6:30 to 8:30. And it's just, there's just that crossover and bleed sometimes that we just need to see. So that's the plan. We do cast based on your dancer's ability and then their age. We try really hard for social reasons and just, the atmosphere of the classroom, not to have ginormous ranges of ages, just because that can get difficult. But we try to be really careful and try to keep that range as small as we possibly can while still challenging your students. COPA, like I was telling you earlier, we are a more boutique type studio or dance program. So there are some dance studios where they have like, different tracks. And so there's like 20 different companies they can go to. And so they're moving from company to company to company up the pike. And it feels so good because they're like constantly moving from one company to the next. That is not how COPA is formatted. So your kids can be in companies sometimes 3 or 4 years. Like it's just how we format it. It doesn't mean that your kid's not growing. It doesn't mean they're not loved or that they're not going to be pushed in the next year. It might mean that their first year in their company that they are a newbie and they have to work really hard to keep up. And by year 3 that they're the leader. Right. And then they move and then they're back to being the newbie. Right. So that's how we've had, that is sometimes hard for dancers and parents to grasp that their kid isn't seen as growing. And that's not the case. It's just that we don't have all those places to bounce a kid so that they feel like they're constantly getting something new, that they will get something new. Oh, Tyne, do you have that tour number?
Yeah, so the range right now is between $700 and $850 for tour, and then those payments will be made over 4 months. And I want to explain, I know some parents have in the past been like, that is so expensive for a local tour, but I want to explain why the amount is the way it is. We have choreography fees that we pay these professionals who come into our studio and teach us choreography. If you're just taking a workshop, that's different from like purchasing choreography from a choreographer. Those are two very different amounts. And so we actually purchase choreography that we can use in our show. So we decided to take those amounts out of your monthly fees and add it to this specific weekend, this tour of specifically what we're doing. We're purchasing those choreography workshops and things like that. And it's very, very beneficial. So we're going to professional show, we're staying in a hotel where this will cover some food, and it will cover all of these workshops and unique experiences where we're not just joining a class, but we're actually having them come to us. And those experiences do get covered all in that amount. So we'll get you a final number. It's paid over 4 months. And if you have any other additional questions about money.
Yeah, Jen just said, and it's the photographer to that professional.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you get your rights to your photos, and those personal photography sessions are really valuable as they get older and they want to market themselves for auditions and things like that. So if you have any additional questions, you can reach out to me, Susie, or Jen, or even Branda Lee who's our tour director, and she can give you more information about that.
Okay. Last thing I didn't write down here, but I thought, yeah, what's that? Company gear, you'll have the same like requirement for classes, you know, your leotard. We are taking away the leggings. I'm sure some of you are cheering. We'll still require the shorts because we tend to use those, the little booty shorts in performances, but we're just requiring that dancers will have the same leotard, the booty shorts, and then, you know, your pink or black ballet tights. We are not going to do gear as far as like a jacket or tracksuit. That's another way that we're trying to keep costs down. And if we're not going to competitions as teams, then there's not a reason for us to, you know, I mean, as fun as it is, there's not a reason for us to make that expense. We will, of course, encourage your dancers to buy some cute swag at the store and advertise that way and wear your stuff, but that's not happening. We will do our COPA t-shirt, which this year we did that fun blue one. I'd like to step up our game just a little bit on that t-shirt. It was fine. I liked the design. I just want a better t-shirt because I want to wear it.
Yeah.
And last year we tried to like do like you know, a medium grade t-shirt, so it wasn't super expensive. And I was like, here's the thing, I don't want to wear it. So I want to grab something that we enjoy wearing and will want to wear, even me, and our students. And so I want a good quality one. But then I also want the design to be something fun. And I realize that sometimes I'm not the most hip and cool person and me designing it. So what we wanted to do is put it out there to our students because they always know what's fun
hip
and hip. I feel so stupid saying hip. So we're going to do a little t-shirt contest. And if they want to design, if your kiddo wants to design a t-shirt that they want us to consider for the dance t-shirt this year, we want them to, oh, we got a question. Yeah. We want them to submit it and they can submit it to Jennifer at Utah COPA. And, or if they draw it themselves and like, if they don't, I'm not saying they need to have like a program on the computer. If they draw it themselves, take a screenshot, email it to Jen, then we'll consider it. And we probably will, we'll talk about this at the post-parent meeting. But we'll talk about like when those designs need to be in by, when your submissions. So help us be hip and cool. And
Do they win?
they win that their designs on the t-shirts. That's what they win. That's what they win. That's like, that was mine.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Okay, let's see. We have a kiddo, a question. If I have a dancing turning,
a dancer turning
Okay.
8 in January.
oh, go ahead, say that one more time.
If they're turning 8 in January, would they need to check in at 3:30 or 4?
Okay, so if you have a dancer that's turning 8 in January, you could bring them to the first one,
And then we might stay.
but we might ask them to stay after. I'm also fine if you want to just bring them to the 8 to 13-year-old. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No problems. And it's speaking of questions, are there any other questions online or you here, ladies? We have a question. Hold on, it's coming in. Yes. So that was a question. China had a question. If your dancer is currently on teen, senior, or CDC, but maybe they're 13, right? Maybe they're 13, but they've been on those 3 companies currently, just have them come to the later session. There's no need for them to come to the younger session. Thanks for clarifying, Tyne.
When do they know what, does it happen next day? You let us know?
It'll happen like the next week.
Okay,
Mhm.
you should know where you're at.
You should know where you're at and by the next week, and then it will be like another. I can't remember where it is I'm gonna look at the calendar.
Oh, the 24th would be that next Friday.
Yeah, it is by the next Friday. So we do it on Thursday, the 24th, you'll submit. And then I can't remember exactly when like your acceptance is due, but It's before I think it's before the end of the month. Actually, I
So
can,
it's probably the 31st.
it is, so it's a,
Yeah, but
by June 1st. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. Our next meeting, like once we've gone through auditions and casting and you guys have accepted, our next parent meeting where we go into a little bit more detail and we need some information from you, will be June 5th. June 5th. And oops,
And do they start classes and they just have the boot camp? And so-
They
So then
have-
they'll have those.
they have a
those
June
3
week.
weeks, Yeah.
17.
they have a July week
July week,
and then the
end of.
July, August company camp where we start a lot of choreography.
And then if they can't come to the June, part of the June 17th week, is that okay?
Yes,
If they come to just part of it?
they could, I mean,
Or is
here,
that-
it's kind of like your tuition, in the year. If you miss a class, it's not like COPA is refunding you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you miss and can't replace it with the MDT week or whatever, just know that we're expecting your dancer to be at the same level that he or she was. Yeah. I know there's a dance camp at BYU that we're like, if my daughter goes to that, then she can't come to this one, but she's getting 30 hours over there. It could replace it, even though we're still paying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just a choice you make. We just expect your dancer to be at the same, if not increased their ability, right? Yeah.
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 Great.
We want you to have a summer.
Yeah.
We want to also have a summer. There will also be weeks, just so you know, that we kind of organize our summer so that we purposely are dark. Like everyone is dark. Like you're not working, but I'm working this week. I don't want to call you. I don't want you to call me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we go dark, like there's like 3 weeks where everyone in COPA is dark just so we can have
Yeah.
we can reset, we can have some family time. We can just, remember that we like have other things in life that we love. We also love this,
Yeah.
but this isn't the only thing that we love. So yeah. Yeah. So just to know if it's in one of those weeks, you're gonna be like, why is nobody responding? Because it's a self-care week. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions about auditions or curriculum?
I have one.
Yes.
If our dancer is picked for a company and you said you have that June 5th parent meeting where more will be required from the parent and we can't make that meeting, will that be on Zoom or another way to make that meeting up? Because we'll be out of the country.
Yes, we will Zoom it for sure. And you'll just need to watch it and make sure that you get the paperwork and the information that we're asking of you submitted as soon as you can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Well, dance gear or like what we've done in the past at the parent meeting, we can have some of those required available that night if they want, or it's just at the store, let them know that it's available for purchase.
So Angie just asked, in the past, at the June 5th meeting, the post audition meeting, we've done like, try on this and try on that. We won't do that this time. If you need a new Leo or new shorts or any of those types of things, you'll just go to the front desk, either in Draper or in American Fork, and you'll just ask the front desk people and they'll let you try on a Leo if you need to, or you just purchase what you need to purchase. Shoes are on your own. We will give you a list, and we have found that Glass Slipper here in American Fork gives us a discount. And nothing is changing except for tap shoes. If you need new tap shoes, don't go buy new tap shoes. If you need new tap shoes, we are going to go to a lace up only because the slip-ons are just creating some bad habits in their technique. So they're not supporting the students' feet well enough. And so we'll go to a lace up, but we'll give you that information at the June 5th meeting. And then if you forget, Christy over at Glass Slipper, she has a list of the COPA dancers and what they all have to have. So yeah. So we won't need to try on anything at the June 5th meeting, and you can come and get the information and fill out the forms. We're going to give you lots of links to things we'd like you to fill out, and it'll be great. Yeah. Any other questions? Well, awesome.
Well,
This has
I
been-
do have one more if
Yeah,
if
go
there's
ahead.
time for it, but
Yeah,
it's
there's
very specific to my dancer and not to anybody else. So Olivia is on teen today, Olivia Kewen, and she cannot do the tap numbers because of a birth defect in her foot where she has like an extra bone and the tap shoe like hurts her foot. And you said it was optional in the older companies before and now it's required. Will that restrict her from being able to be a part of teen or higher this year?
No, no,
Okay.
that doesn't worry me. Yeah. We can
Okay.
work with something like that. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anybody? Okay, well, awesome. If you do have questions that pop in your head after we finish this Zoom, feel free to email Jen. And she'll get back to you. This recording, we'll send it out. So if you want to go back and listen again at how many times I said hip, you can. Happy to, let's guess how many times I said it, you guys. Who wants to guess? I'm gonna say 7. Now we know why Susie should not be doing the, Susie's so not cool. Okay, don't tell my kids that. I keep trying to convince them that I am. All right. Well, we love you guys. It has been a really great year. It hasn't been a perfect year in a lot of ways, but the truth is, like, life is never perfect, but I love looking back and being able to find things that have been awesome, and we're ending happy, and we're ending with dancers progressing. And I sit there and I watch that. I don't know about you guys, I was just so impressed with the concert. And I hope those of you who have been with us were able to see the concert, and there was just some amazing things happening and just lovely work on stage. I was just so impressed, and watching so many kiddos succeed makes me so happy. So thank you for trusting your children with us, and for being interested in our program, and for being here and supporting us. We think these changes and these tweaks will be for the better, and will make all of our lives a little bit better, and maybe a little bit more balanced as well. So we love you. Thank you. And let us know if you guys have any more questions, and we'll see you on the 16th. Okay. Thanks, you guys. It was awesome.